Let us understand how do humans reproduce. So human beings reproduce by sexual mode of reproduction. Sexual mode. Human beings does not reproduce asexually, right? Human beings cannot reproduce through our vegetative parts. Like the parts we have, what do we have? Different organs and body parts, including hands, legs, eyes, nose, etc. But human beings cannot reproduce through its vegetative parts or any other body parts. But only one mode can be followed, that is the sexual mode of reproduction. And when we talk about sexual mode of reproduction, it means the involvement of gametes, the production of gametes. So gamete production is the first and the preliminary step, you can say, of any sexual reproduction, not only humans, even in case of animals as well as in plants. When we talk about sexual reproduction, gamete formation is the primary step. The organism must produce a gamete, and these gametes are a special cell. Special, or you can say germinal. Okay? So special cell or a germinal cell which are formed by the process of meiosis cell division. Right? By the process of meiosis cell division. So meiosis cell division in class 9 we have studied. This is a type of cell division where one cell divides to form 4 daughter cells. One cell gives rise to 4 daughter cells which are haploid. Very important. Haploid. Which are haploid. Haploid means half. Which are haploid. Haploid means half. The number of chromosomes is reduced to half. That is why this type of the cell division is also known as the reductional cell division, which you have learned in class 9. There are 2 types of cell division, mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis does not involve reproduction, but you can say as reproduction in case of unicellular organism. If there is only one cell, the cell will break up and become 2. Can you tell me what is the type of asexual reproduction we call it? That is fission. For example, in amoeba, fission is an example of mitosis cell division, where the mother cell splits into 2, but that is an example of asexual reproduction. But in case of sexual reproduction, they follow meiosis cell division and they produce that special type of cell which we call as gamete, and these gametes are haploid, half. Now you may think why it is important to produce it and why it is reduced to half. Why not say? There is a very big reason. As we also know that the second feature, the second characteristics of sexual reproduction, this is the one character, number 1, that formation of gamete. And secondly, you can write 2 individuals are involved. Right? You can say 2 individuals are involved. Means 2 organisms are involved in the process. Means the gametes from 2 respective individuals are fused together. Right? So when 2 half gametes, the 2 haploid gametes are fused, it will become a diploid zygote. So you need to understand the term that is haploid and diploid. So why haploid gamete is formed and what is called diploid? Haploid means half, diploid means double. So as in sexual reproduction 2 individual persons are involved, it means each of them will produce the gamete which has half the number of chromosomes. Right? Suppose for example human being have 46 number of chromosomes. It means one individual will produce 23 and the other will produce 23. Half. Suppose the male will produce the gamete which has 23 number of chromosomes and the female will produce the gamete which has 23 chromosomes. So upon the fusion of these two special cells or the gamete, we find a cell which has how many number? 46 number. So this is the meaning of diploid cell. Right? Suppose now you imagine if this does not become half, if it remains 46. So 46 plus 46, how much it would be? 92. So it means every generation it will get double. It means in this entire earth there will be only chromosomes. So that does not rule out. That does not happen. So to maintain the consistency that the number of chromosomes remain constant every generation, so the gamete has, the gamete is reduced to half. It means every individual has a set of chromosomes which are segregated or separated during the time of gamete formation. So that is the reason why you have half number of gene from your father and half, means 50% from your father and 50% from your mother. So similarly the next generation also going to get the same, 50% from you and 50% from the mother, from the female. So these are the characteristics of sexual reproduction. Number one, production of gamete. Secondly, two person or two individuals are involved, whether it's an animal or humans or even plants that are reproducing sexually. So this thing you remember in your mind, the meaning of haploid and diploid. Right? So this is how humans reproduce with the production of gamete and with the involvement of two individual person, one male and female person. That is, male will produce the male gamete, that we call sperm in case of males or humans, or the female will produce the egg or the ovum. So the sperm and ovum are the cells which are haploid in number. Now apart from these two cells, all the cells that are present in our body, our muscle cell, nerve cell, epithelial cell which form the tissue, all of them are diploid. In fact, our entire body is diploid. We are made up of multi-cells, right? We human beings are multicellular organism. So all these cells are diploid, right? Only the gamete, the sex cells, the egg and the sperm are haploid in number, and these are produced at the specific stage of life. As the life of humans can be divided into infanthood or childhood, early childhood, late childhood, then comes the adolescence or puberty. After puberty comes the adulthood, then after adulthood, then comes the old age, and finally the senescence. So at senescence or after old age, the person dies. Right? So that is the life cycle or the different stages of human being. So in all these stages, human beings are not reproductively active all throughout. Right? Human beings are have a certain specific period where they are reproductively active. For example, during the infant period or during the early and late childhood, they are not reproductively active. They are at the state of growth. They are at the stage of growth and development of their body and body parts. But during the period of puberty, the child, I am calling as a child as because the puberty stage you are still a children, still a child, as you have not crossed 18. So what stage particularly we consider it to be puberty? Your age. That is from say around 11 or 12 to maybe around 17 to 18 or say 16. Means it varies. So this particular period, or for your better understanding, let me consider it say from class 6 or 7 to class 12 is the stage of puberty where you are considered to be a teenager. Right? So at this stage you attain sexual maturity. Right? Your body starts to produce the gamete. But as we know, this is not the stage for reproduction. Attaining a reproductive stage does not mean that it is the stage to reproduce. It is only the stage which is preparing your body for reproduction. As in the beginning, I have explained to you why reproduction is important. Why every living organism reproduces, right? It is not a process without which organism cannot remain alive. Organism remains alive, they can live even without reproduction. but it is important because no organism are immortal. All organisms will die one day, and every organism, they want to continue their species, or they want to continue their generation, so they must reproduce. In fact, reproduction is one of the very important criteria for the survival of the organism. If there is some problem, or if a population of organisms, say population of tiger, population of rhinoceros, if their reproductive ability is lost, they may not be killed, or if they may not die presently, but the entire population, if they are suffering from reproductive inability, then certainly within few years, or in the coming 4 to 5 years, they are going to get extinct. As their reproductive ability is lost, they are not able to reproduce continuously. So certainly this entire species will be extinct. That is why it is very important for any organism that their reproductive ability is maintained. So as the human beings. As we human beings are intelligent, there are many methods by which even the infertile couple can have their child. Why all these techniques are developed? Certainly to reproduce. As if we do not reproduce, it may happen that the species of, the human species may even extinct, right? So reproductive ability is one of the very important factor for the continuation of that particular species. So am I clear, everyone? So this is about sexual mode of reproduction in humans, or why sexual reproduction. So let's discuss the male reproductive system. So male reproductive system in human. So before I explain this, let me introduce you about the system. So there are different physiological systems in our body, which you have studied in the chapter, like process. System like respiratory system, circulatory system, digestive system, excretory system. So was there any mentioning of any differences in male or female? Is the digestive system of male and female is different? No. So other physiological system, other than reproductive system, it is same in male as well as in female. But only the reproductive system is different in male and female. As male, why this system is there? For example, we know respiratory system is for respiration and producing energy in the form of ATP. Digestive system is to break down the food into its simpler absorbable form. Circulatory system is to circulate the blood and supply the materials to every cells and tissue, right? So likewise, reproductive system, what role does it play, or what is reproductive system? Reproductive system plays the role for reproduction, right? And as I mentioned, reproduction requires the production of gamete, number one step. Yes or no? So as I mentioned that reproduction in humans requires the production of gamete, and these gametes are, one is male and the other one is female. It means reproductive system in male and reproductive system in female are different, as they are going to produce different types of cells. Am I right? So male will produce the male gamete and female will produce the female gamete. So the reproductive system is also different. So this is what we are going to discuss now about the male reproductive system. So first and foremost, the system will produce the gamete. Gamete production is the first step, right? So where does this gamete production occurs, or where does the gamete production takes place? That is in the gonads. There is a term called gonad, but this term is for male and female same. Gonad means sex cell producing organ, the organ that produces the sex cells or the gamete. So this gamete in case of male will be the testis. So there is a pair of testes in males that produces the gamete. Yes or no? Like respiratory system, the lungs help in respiration, exchange of gases. Yes or no? The lung is the major organ for respiration where gases exchange occurs. Likewise, in reproductive system, system, production of gamete occurs in the gonad. In male it is testis, whereas in female it is ovary. So during the female reproductive system we shall discuss that. But now male reproductive system, the gonad is the testis. Now in the organ or in the gonad testis, the gamete is produced, which is called the sperms. And these sperms are haploid. So how many number of chromosomes are there in the sperm? 23. As human being is diploid, it means gonad, the number of cells in the gonad or in the testis is 46. There is a sperm mother cell. Testis is an organ, no? There will be many cells. Like lung is an organ. Inside the lung there is the alveoli where actual gaseous exchange occurs. Likewise, testis is an organ or the gonad, inside which there are the seminiferous vesicles or many other parts are there which you will learn in your higher class. But here in the testis there is the sperm mother cell, one single cell which will produce the sperm. So that is 46 in number. So that undergoes meiosis. So in this arrow I write here meiosis, and this meiosis division results in the production of haploid cell, which are the, let me write this from here, which are the sperms. Right? So this is the case of gamete production, number one step. Now as gamete is produced in the organ, this has to reach the female reproductive system in order to fertilize or in order to fuse. So there must be a mode of transportation from the gonad to the external world. As the sperm, they are the live cell and they are the smallest cell in human body, in males. So they must reach from one place to the another. So there is the means and ways by which this will be transported. So we have other parts in the reproductive system as the vas deferens. Very important, remember it. Vas deferens. So this vas deferens will transport the gamete from the testis. So these are attached to the testis. So a pair of testicles, let me draw the diagram here like this. So this will have the seminiferous vesicles or inside this testis. The gamete will be produced and this tube is known as the vas deferens. Right? So there will be a tube which is known as the vas deferens. So this tube is going to collect and take the sperm from the testis. So this is known as vas deferens. Very important. Remember it. Then after vas deferens, the other tube we have is the urethra. So this portion is called the urethra. So this urethra is for the passage of two things. One is for urination. You have studied in excretory system the urethra. Through the urethra, it passes the urine for urination, for excretion, right? And the second is to release gamete. In exam for 1 mark the question comes. It may sound very easy. But these are the small points which are very important and are asked also in exam. But in fact, in exam, small and simple things are asked. For example, what is the function of urethra? Write 2 points or write 2 functions of urethra. Then you should write number 1 for urination, very simple, and number 2 for release of sperm or release of gamete, or you can also write semen. I will explain you what is the meaning of sperm and semen in the later part. So here the structure urethra is the another tube which is connected to the vas deferens. But one more thing which is very important here is that apart from only the sperm, there are other secretions that comes along the way, right? So it means from here you can consider it to be the urethra. From here to here you can consider it to be the vas deferens. Now the change is in between of these, right? What is the change here? The change is that apart from the testis, there are other accessory organs or other accessory glands which are called accessory glands. Accessory gland, for example, the bicycle will run even if there is no carrier, no basket. But yet they are also one of the important component, as it it gives you more of the facility. Yes or no? Yes or no? Bicycle will run, but sperm is the prime cell or the major cell that is going to fertilize and that is going to take part for reproduction. But apart from this, there are other secretion which helps in the process. Sperm alone cannot reach up to the female reproductive system, as it has to go a very long distance, and during the journey it requires a lot of help from many areas. For example, for the nourishment purpose, for the movement purpose, etc. So all these are achieved by these accessory glands. Some of the accessory glands like the seminal vesicles, then prostate gland, etc. Prostate gland, etc. Right? Seminal vesicle and prostate gland. So let me throw here. Suppose these are some of the glands. These are some of the glands near to it. Let me draw like this. This is for your understanding. Actual diagram is not like this. This is just a flow diagram to make you understand. Actual diagram is somewhat similar but not exactly like this. This is only the lateral view. Right? So suppose these are the accessory gland. Right? And the secretion will be poured in here. Here. So they are connected here. They are connected here. Can you see? Let me draw with the arrow mark here. 1, 2, 3. So all these 3 different glands are giving their secretion into this duct. The tube. And this tube has the extension which is called urethra. I hope now you are getting my point. It means when the sperm will come from the testis and it moves upward across, crossing the vas deferens, and when it, by the time it comes to the urethra, will it remain only the sperm? Tell me, by the time it comes from the urethra, will it remain only the sperm? Tell me yes or no. Will it remain only the sperm? No. Not only sperm. Sperm is there, but along with sperm, the other secretion are there, na? Suppose the school bus brings you from Hatimata, the place, to the Moscow school. Many points are there where students will be entering or will enter into the bus. And when you reach school, will there be only one student? No, other students who have joined from the halfway also will be there, na? So likewise, it will not be only the sperm. Along with the sperm, there will be other secretions. So some of the accessory glands I have mentioned here, like the seminal vesicle, prostate gland. There are other glands like urethral gland, etc. You can see your book. You will find the name there, which you have to remember. So what is the function? In exam, the question is also asked. So it is a concept based. You have to conceptualize the idea. You should know why these secretions are important. Because without any importance, this thing will not be present inside our body, right? In our body, there is not a single part which is of no use. Am I clear? So, certainly these secretions are given in the tube and it passes down along the urethra with the sperm for many purposes. The reason like for nourishment, number 1. As the sperm cell has to remain alive until it reaches the female reproductive system and until it fertilizes the egg. So it's a long distance to cross. So the nourishment has to be there. The sperm must be nourished, and for lubrication, for easy flow, for easy swimming. As the sperm can move, they are mobile. Mobile means they are not stationary. They can move from one place to another, right? So for their movement, they require a medium for transportation, from one place to another, even if they are moving, right? So that is helped by these accessory glands or the secretion from those glands. So this is why it is important. So this is what the concept lies here about the male reproductive system. So these are the points which you need to remember, right? First of all, gamete is produced. Where does it produce? It produced in the monad, that is in the testis. From the testis, it is transported through the vas deferens. The tube called vas deferens brings it then the urethra releases it. But apart from this, there are also other accessory glands which pour their secretion into the duct, and collectively they are called the semen. This is what I was telling you, that I will be explaining you the difference between sperm and semen. It means semen is the collective form of the sperm and the other secretions, not the sperm alone. Am I clear, everyone? So this is about the male reproductive system. So there is one more difference in case of a male reproductive system. That is about the external genitalia called penis. So this is called external genitalia. External genitalia. External genitalia means outside the body. In fact, both the testis and penis are located outside the body cavity. These are not inside the body, right? So penis and testis are outside the body. As there is a reason in exam also previously it is asked why the testes are found outside the body cavity in case of male. Female, as I said, the gamete producing organ is the ovary. Ovary is present inside the body cavity, but whereas testes are present outside the body cavity, right? And the reason is, can anyone tell me the reason? The reason is the body temperature. As we know that our normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, our body, I mean the synthesis or the production of sperm will be hampered, right? So to maintain this temperature, it requires less than 30 degrees Celsius for the production of sperm. So to provide an optimum temperature, the testes are located outside the body cavity. Am I clear? So this is what you need to remember. So whatever I have explained today, these are the points which you have to remember regarding male reproductive system. So what are the parts and organs? You simply remember testis, vas deferens, urethra, penis and accessory glands. That's it. These are the parts. And out of this, testis and penis are the external genitalia. Means they are found outside the body cavity and rest are inside the body. It means the vas deferens, urethra. I mean urethra also lies inside the penis, and the other two like the accessory glands are inside the abdominal cavity. Am I right? So that's it for today about the male reproductive system. So in my next class, we will be discussing about the female reproductive system. Is it clear for everyone? Okay, so thank you so much for this.